I think she manipulates him, and I just feel sorry for him. Poor guy, he lost his mom at such an early age, and I can see why he feels the way he feels, but he needs he needs to get Cathy's book, Time Courage to, what's it called? Time to Heal?
PTSD, Time to Heal. Yeah. Yeah.
PTSD, Time to Heal. Harry, go get that book. Don't let the bitch see you reading it. You'll probably have to go downstairs and hide in a closet, but do so.
Harry, if you're watching, the links for Cathy's book are in the live chat right now or in the description box. And Cathy, do you have any thoughts? Do you think Harry was MK Ultra'd?
If he was, then it's good he's away from the family entirely, because sometimes you gotta break away from your abuse base in order to heal. It's really important.
But what if you go? What if a lot of times when you run away from your abuse base, you get with a complete narcissist who cares nothing about you, right?
It depends if you heal first and before you get into other relationships, and it's like when Mark lifted me out of the swamp, and man, he was so handsome. I was safe. He was everything. I was like, whoa, and he wouldn't have anything to do with me until I healed. He said, because you got to have something. You have to know who you are in order to have something to give in a relationship. And not only was it important for me to heal first to be 100% in who I am, but it's also important so that I didn't have crossovers of memory tangling with him, or taking out my past on him. It's really important to separate, and that's so wise what he did. And I encourage everyone, be whole in yourself first before you get into any relationship, so that you don't take your baggage in on the one that you love.
Yeah.
Mystic wants to know, will Roseanne have Audra Lynn back on? The interview was fascinating and fantastic.
Yeah, we're going to do a part 2. I just love her. She's great.
Katie Cat, Roseanne, what was your first show debut on TV?
It was The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. That was in 1986. I did 5 minutes of comedy on his show, which was a dream of every comic at the time. It was the way to go.
For Roseanne, do you rate the Talmud? And if so, which parts?
Well, the Talmud is something like 32 volumes. So, no, I haven't read the whole thing. But, I've read choice snippets from it that, say a lot of good things, and other snippets are ridiculous. But you have to remember the context in which it was written, which was in exile. And, these guys, it's a conversation between a bunch of rabbis, and they're talking about law. And people excerpt things and think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. They don't know what they're talking about at all. They were, discussing law. Like if we're going to sit here and discuss a Bible passage and we say, well, what if that meant there were beings from other planets? People will go, well, that's an interesting way of looking at it. But it isn't law. It is people deciphering and arguing law. So, of course, there's a bunch of idiots in there. There's a bunch of people that say really weird shit. But it's not what it's being portrayed to be at all. There's some really good stuff in there. One of the good things in there says this: treat your neighbor as you would want to be treated. That's in there. So, it just depends on the glasses you're going to wear and what you're looking for. And I have to understand too that a lot of the times when they're discussing law, they are very dark, because Jews love dark humor. One of the funniest parts of the things I've read in there it's really black humor about, well, what if this? Well, then It's a lot of what if and then. And some of it's hilarious and dark as hell. But that's what happens when you sit around and discuss scripture.
So Hiram wants to know if you guys are fans of Joe Rogan or whether you think he's sold out.
Oh boy.
Cathy, what do you want to go first?
I haven't been on. I have no association with him, so I don't know.
I've questioned him personally about things he's showed and things he says and puts on there. And I've also questioned Pierce, who I called Pierced. I've also questioned Pierced in his choice of subject matter too. So believe me, I call everybody. I tell them just what I think. And you know, because I'm an old nosy Jewish woman, that's my right. And so I must do so. When I see something immoral in one of my friends or somebody who's asking me for my time, I either ignore it or I confront it. Because if it's worth my time, then I'll confront it. If it's not worth my time, I'll ignore it. But at a certain point, I probably have to say something about everything, because why not? I'm that sexy. I have to pick my tooth now.
Sorry, this is the last question. We're almost at the hour. So do you guys think that the outcome of the Diddy case revealed anything about the network, or there was a Comey cover-up?
It goes right back to what I was saying about the Epstein tapes too. You know, I mean, and the Epstein logs. We've got to start factoring mind control into the equation. Realize that that the victims, the victimizers, and people compromised, whistleblowers. There's all kinds of factors to be considered instead of one blanket snap judgment. And hopefully, ultimately, people are going to expand their thinking to start wrapping their mind around mind control and factoring it into the equation.
Well, I was always saying, since the whole Diddy arrest thing, I was like, oh, of course, the only guy that's going to go down for it is a black guy. That was my opinion then. And, you know, they're all friggin' monsters, but they seem to either blame Jews or black people, neither of which is in that tippy top pyramid part. So I think he's a monster, but I just feel sorry for all the victims, because that was another slap in the face to all the victims. Like, oh well, you know,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And I also knew that CPS was trafficking children from Chicago and other cities and bringing them to Diddy parties, because people in CPS are getting paid too. They're all on the dime of you know, the monsters. I call them vampires, but that went nowhere. It seems like anything that has to do with justice for the victims goes nowhere. And the justice system, all it does is protect the guilty. And we'll have to change that.
But awareness is the first step towards positive change. So at least people finally became aware that there are blackmail tapes. That's I guess that could be a positive from it, because they've been making them my whole life. I know I was in them back in those big giant reels, you know, back in those days. So, you know, it's at least people are gaining some awareness, but we've got a good ways to go before we can be making any judgment.
Here's some good advice. Don't never go to any party and stay past 9 p.m. Don't ever go to any party and stay past 9 p.m. The end. That's the deal. Especially if they're famous or powerful or glamorous. Do not stay past 9 p.m.
So you've just got absolute love and respect in the chat all night, Cathy and Roseanne. And Deanne has just said this is one of the best interviews of all time. Huge thank you guys for being so generous with your time. Is there anything you'd like
Me
to
and
say in
Kathy-
conclusion?
I'd like to say, me and Kathy, we wants to take our show on the road. We want to get out there and work with, other with organizations that care about children who are victims and in their healing process. We are trying to work on that across the country with a number of other women and men, but moms and stuff, and so that we can educate people as to what's really going on and set the captives free. I don't know. You say something, Kathy.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, ultimately, we've been working towards that for a long time, raising awareness for the children's sake. This has got to stop. The kind of nonsense that we experienced, no one should. And our humanity is under attack. It's time people face that reality and remember who they are, why they're here, arm themselves with the knowledge that's our defense against mind control, and effectively protect the children going forward.
Wow. I mean, you guys are powerful speakers in your own right, but combined, the power is multiplied, guys. And I
You
just
ought to
feel
see
so
us
honored.
when we're drinking and smoking. We're real good then.
You think this is water? You think this is water? It's Russian vodka. So
We're really
I'm
calling it down when we're doing that, huh, Kathy?
I'm going to let you guys go and
Okay,
close the
thank
show.
you.
Huge thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
Much
Sean.
love from the UK. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See ya.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Viewers, that was phenomenal. Please support our guests. Click on the links in the description box. Don't go anywhere yet, though. I'm going to show you the trailer for our interview with Epstein's brother. Yes, we've just interviewed Epstein's brother. It's coming out in the next couple of days, and it's going to be mind-blowing. So here is the trailer, and Ron has just put it together this afternoon. Get some of this, folks.
Crime. Yes.
I'm Mark Epstein. I'm Jeffrey's. Yeah, I'm Mark Epstein. I'm Jeffrey's brother. As a matter of fact, he had a hearing coming up, for to appeal the bail decision. And that was coming, and it would have been the largest bail in the United States history. So no one thinks he would have taken himself out. They both came out of the autopsy saying that they couldn't call it because it looked too much like a homicide. And interestingly enough, that never appears anywhere, even in the Justice Department report. On the initial death certificate we got, the cause of death said pending further study. But they won't investigate it, or have not yet investigated it as a homicide, because if they did, there was a lot of questions they should have been asking. They would have interviewed everybody else on the tier. Bill Barr came out early on and said that he saw that nobody went in or out of the tier. And that convinced them of this. And now with this recent release of the video, you can see that you can't see the tier door. And people can get to that tier door without being caught on that camera. So what was he referring to? He should not have been moved until the medical examiner got there and investigated the crime scene. So by moving his body, they messed up the crime scene, to make it harder to see that it was actually a homicide. People who have investigated, nothing to do with me. These are not people who are working for me. These are independent investigators who are very, high tech with video stuff. I don't even know how to do that. When they looked at the metadata, which is the information buried in the video, they see that it was edited a number of times. So it just adds to the bull. Let me put it that way. Nicholas Tattaglione did rough him up when they were cellmates. He told his lawyer that if you picture somebody hanging, that ligature mark should be way up under his chin and go up behind his ears. It doesn't. Well, it's who are they protecting? Is the question. And it's whoever had Jeffrey killed. The question should no longer be, did Jeffrey Epstein commit suicide or was he killed? The question now should be, who had him killed? That's what they should be looking for.
Absolutely phenomenal video editing by Ron. The interview with Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, coming in the next couple of days. We've got 2 hours of David Icke filmed yesterday coming in about a week. And we've got Prince Andrew's ex-Royal Protection Officer pre-record coming in within about a week. And he's talking about Ghislaine Maxwell coming in off the books. Romantic picnics with Prince Andrew that Ghislaine had, and that they were lovers. So tons more content coming out, folks. Stay tuned. We will be back soon. Thank you for all of your questions tonight. It's been a great vibe.